CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Kevontae Turpin, Ryan Flournoy. Those 4 wide receivers are guys that I'm excited to see play for the Cowboys in 2025. And if you notice, there's one name missing from that group, and I'm sure you guys know who it is. And if you don't know, you're going to find out in just a minute. And I feel bad, all right? I feel bad making this video because everyone's starting to pile on this guy. Everybody's saying he needs to lose his reps, cut him from the team. Everybody's mad at him, all of that. And I didn't even put his name in the thumbnail in case his mom or dad or brother, sister scrolling on YouTube, none of that. But I got to talk about it. You guys know that I like wide receiver play. I like talking about wide receivers. It's a flashy position, big money position. And if you don't have a wide receiver, a good wide receiver unit, you're screwed. And if you do have a good wide receiver unit, you can play some ball, all right? So I had to talk about it. And that's why today's video is on Jalen Tolbert, who could really be holding back this Cowboys offense. And I think some guys, mainly one guy, should be getting reps over him. Let's get into it. Jalen Tolbert, the Cowboys wide receiver 3, the 4th-year man out of South Alabama. And coming out of college, Tolbert had some really impressive tape. When the Cowboys selected him in the 3rd round, I wasn't upset with it. He was a deep ball receiver. He could track the ball really well. He had good hands, could play above the rim, and he dominated at times in college at South Alabama. 4 years later, though, I think it's safe to say that type of receiver, the hope that he could be that in the NFL is gone. He can still make some plays, and he did last year. He had 7 touchdowns. He led the team in touchdowns, funny enough. He did have a couple of big plays, especially that Pittsburgh game. He had a big play in a big moment. But in 2025, with the potential that this offense has, going out and getting George Pickens, for a reason, because Tolbert was going to be the wide receiver 2. But with Pickens, Lamb, and that run game, that run scheme, how well they move the ball against Philly, they need more from that wide receiver group outside of Lamb and Pickens. They need more from the wide receiver 3 position. And Tolbert got a majority of those snaps in week 1 against Philly. And I went back and watched the film, all 28-ish plays, somewhere around there. I got to say, I was extremely disappointed. I want to see Ryan Flournoy out there in week 2 or week 3 or a little bit later in the season. Sure, he's a less experienced guy, a younger guy in football years. Tolbert and Flournoy are actually just 6 months apart in age, but Flournoy is a second-year player. Tolbert is in his 4th. And even with that, with the inexperience, I don't care. Tolbert just doesn't do the things that you need him to do in this offense. He doesn't. And with a new head coach, I thought that maybe there was a chance that he would kind of slide down the depth chart. Other guys would play better than him in training camp in the preseason, and he would kind of move down, right? Because Brian Schottenheimer's entire thing has been compete ever since he got here, right? And this is what he said in his presser earlier this week. And he wasn't talking about Tolbert, but he was talking about younger guys competing and playing better. Take a listen.
At the end of the day, young players, it hits at different times, and there's a way you have to perform, especially with a mantra of compete every day. I mean, if you're not putting it out there and you're not doing right every day, and if you take a step back on a Thursday, maybe you did great on Wednesday and on Thursday, that's going to get noticed. And this is an incredibly talented roster, and you have to earn your chance to get out there. It's not because I was the first overall pick of the draft or whatever it is. There's got to be a consistency.
Really quick, guys, before we continue, I wanted to tell you about today's video sponsor, Sleeper, the best daily fantasy sports app on the market. And this week on Thursday Night Football, I am taking Deebo Samuel more than 46.5 receiving yards. That's a multiplier boost, which means it ups your earnings. I think Deebo's going to have a pretty big game because the Packers are going to shut down the Washington Commanders elsewhere, so Deebo's going to have a big game. And then Jordan Love comes out and throws 1.5 passing touchdowns against that pretty weak Commanders secondary. So if you guys want to check out Sleeper, all you have to do is sign up with code DoubleMove and you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Then get in there, choose more or less than on a couple of players, and you're done. So a 100% deposit match up to $100 on Sleeper with code DoubleMove. Now let's get back into it. Obviously, he's not talking about Flournoy in this clip, but I thought it was a good one to bring up because I came to the realization when I was making this video that we aren't at practices. Even Cowboys media people aren't at practices either, at least the main portions of it, right? We just see the final product that gets put on the field, what this team looks like on every given Sunday or Thursday or Monday or whatever. But I'm just giving my opinion based on the product, the all-22, and what I saw against Philly. So maybe we're missing something with Flournoy at practice. He's not doing good in the classroom. He's not doing things on the field. He's dropping passes. We don't really know. I just know in that Eagles game, Tolbert wasn't good enough. And the consistency that Shotty talks about isn't there for Tolbert either. It's never been there. From play to play, game to game, season to season, he hasn't been consistent. So if we're going off of that, Tolbert really shouldn't be out there either. I want you guys to take a look at this chart. Tolbert is down there. Nope. Down a little bit more. Yep. Right there. That's bad. That's way below Noah Brown, who we would be screaming and begging this team to do something if he was the wide receiver 3. This chart is what pushed me to make this video because when I watched the All-22, I saw it, the routes, the effort, the blocking. It wasn't it. I know the guy scored 7 touchdowns last year, and however many yards he ended up having, I think it was like 600 yards, but he only caught 49 of 79 passes. I think it's time to get younger, more explosive, and a more willing run blocker to help this offense. And Flournoy showed that during the preseason and in training camp, that he is a more willing blocker with his strength and physicality. He was pushing people all over the field, sticking his nose in there on inside runs, running all the way across the field to try to take the linebacker out of the play. And that's useful for an offense that's going to be using more motion. We're going to see more edge run game stuff, more wide receiver screens on the perimeter where those guys are going to have to be blocking. Flournoy helps you in those areas. Tolbert is a net negative. I'm not even saying you have to throw the ball to a young guy and hope it works out. That's not really what I'm vouching for here, even though as the wide receiver 3, he is going to get those opportunities. I just think that he gives you more of an edge. He's bigger, more physical. He catches the ball better. He's a bigger frame, bigger body, move people around. It's just all better. Even what he brings into the passing game. If we want to get into what he brings to this offense through the air, we can do that. Flournoy's athletic profile is great. 6'1", 200-pound wide receiver, 4.4 speed, good explosiveness. He had a 9.8 relative athletic score. That was unofficial. I think some of those numbers come from his pro day, but still a good athlete. He was a bit older of a prospect coming out of college, a smaller school. He had limited production there, and I think he ended up playing like 6 years of college ball, so that's why he was drafted in the 6th round. But even with all of that, he was still drafted because of what he can do on the perimeter. He's quick off the line of scrimmage. He has good acceleration. He can work through contact, which something else that Tolbert struggled with against Philly. Flournoy offers run after the catch ability, which I said it before. I don't think I've ever seen Tolbert break a tackle in my life. This is about Flournoy right now. Big body, big target. Like, those are things that I think the offense needs. I just got so frustrated watching the All-22 and thinking about what this offense could be with Pickens, who does need to get more involved. You need to have a little bit better of a plan for getting him the ball. And then CD, clean up the drops here and there. Like, I don't think you're asking a ton from your wide receiver 3. Like, oh, it's do or die for Tolbert. If he's playing wide receiver 3, this offense is cooked. No. I just want to give it more of an advantage. I just want to see a wide receiver that can block in space, run through contact on quick game stuff, and make those tough catches on the outside, especially if Lamb's going to be playing a good bit in the slot. The main thing really is get open. I really didn't see Tolbert get open against Philly. So I say all of that to say you need to do something at wide receiver 3. Maybe that's more Turpin. I don't really know how that's going to work with Lamb playing the slot, if you would even be willing to put Turpin on the outside. Flournoy just kind of fits that mold. So if this is a compete type of organization, type of culture that you're trying to create here, Tolbert did not compete on Thursday night. Maybe it's just the draft capital comes into play, the familiarity, they know who Tolbert is, they trust him, big week 1 game on the road. It's hard to trust your second-year, 6th-round wide receiver. I don't know. If you're going to try something else, I don't see a better time to do it than week 2 against the Giants at noon, not on prime time, a little less pressure on younger guys if you're trying to switch things up. But I you know what? I just want to be proven wrong. I want you to put Flournoy out there for an entire game, and then we'll see what happens. Shoddy has harped on the compete and consistency mantra since he got hired, and to me, Tolbert has done that. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, you know we talk about wide receivers ad nauseum on this channel, and we're over here complaining about wide receiver 3. It doesn't get any better than that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you very soon. Jadeveon Clowney is in the building in Dallas.